My first pregnancy did not end the way that I hoped it would. I actually miscarried at 5 weeks and I was absolutely heartbroken. I knew it was something that so many people went through, but I guess I just really never thought it was something I would go through, which I'm sure if you've miscarried, you can relate. It is a challenging and hard time. As I was processing and dealing with that miscarriage, I dove into learning more about what was going on in my body during that beginning stage of pregnancy and what I could do to best support my body. So although I'm a doctor of physical therapy, I am not an MD, and I definitely recommend that as I discuss these things, if you are intrigued by them, you reach out to your midwife, your naturopath, your MD, and consult them and ask about these options. So my goal by the end of this video is to give you 3 things that you can think about shifting that might support a healthier pregnancy in future pregnancies and some of the shifts that I'm making during my second pregnancy. Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Shaw. For the best natural wellness tips, make sure that you click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified each week when I drop a new video. Stick around till the end. I have an awesome gift for you that helped me on this journey of healing following my miscarriage. As you may have heard me say before, I wasn't ever really sure I wanted to be a mother. I was only going to have children if I was in the right partnership that I knew I could raise children well. I could give them a safe space to navigate life and explore and learn and grow emotionally and physically. And it wasn't until I met my husband that I was truly confident that I wanted to be a mother. And I knew that together we could raise incredible children. And after we got married, March 12th, 2022, we decided to try right away for a family. And on April 20th, we found out we were pregnant. It was all exciting and just so much joy. And then May 7th, worst case scenario happened. I woke up to blood. And by the end of the day on May 7th, it was apparent that I was miscarrying. And I was absolutely devastated. I have been through a lot in life, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever navigated. And in that time since my miscarriage, I really dove in and learned more about how I can support my body as I navigate this second pregnancy. And I am so excited to dive in and show you these simple, subtle changes that I'm making that have made such a big difference for my body and my health. So the first thing I did was speak to my naturopath, who is a genius when it comes to hormones. And I'll have her information down below so you can check it out. If you don't have a naturopath, she does virtual consults and can help you. She helped me get off birth control and help me navigate that journey. And it's so incredible to have her in my court. And I reached out to her right after my miscarriage and was like, what happened? And she goes, and told me basically that it was so common for first pregnancies, especially if you're older. And one of the biggest culprits is progesterone. When we get pregnant, our progesterone spikes and it goes up. And we have to provide the body with progesterone until the placenta is fully attached and is producing its own progesterone to maintain the pregnancy. So there's a lot that goes into our progesterone levels, but one of them is stress. Stress has a really negative impact on progesterone levels. So as we increase our stress levels, our body pulls from progesterone to create more cortisol, the stress hormone. Now, we found out we were pregnant towards the end of April. And May 1st, we opened our physical therapy clinic, our new location, our physical therapy and wellness center. And high stress was just part of the game. We were dealing with a lot. There was a lot going on. And I was under a lot of stress. And now that I understand this correlation between progesterone and cortisol, I totally understand where my body just didn't have the progesterone it needed to sustain this pregnancy. So we talked about it, and Dr. Janine recommended a progesterone supplement. that I could use each month during my cycle post-ovulation to help my body sustain pregnancy if and when we conceived. So I got, on her recommendation, this progesterone supplement that I use sublingually every morning. And, for me, she has specific recommendations of how many drops and for how many weeks I'm doing it, because she knows my history and she knows my hormones and we've done testing, right? But what I've learned basically is that we have to ensure that our body has healthy levels of progesterone. Number one thing that we can do to support that is to actually supplement our progesterone levels. And I don't just recommend going and buying a progesterone supplement and throwing that at your body. I definitely recommend consulting a professional like a naturopath or your OB on this matter and see what their thoughts are. It can be really helpful. And I know for me, as I navigate my second pregnancy, it's been extremely helpful. The second thing I shifted and I want to talk about is helping with stress. So we talked about the correlation between stress and cortisol. It's so important that we understand those two are interrelated. And sure, it's nice for me to be able to tell you, go manage your stress, have a less stressful life, yada, yada, yada. But realistically, life is just stressful. So we need to start to think about how we can affect this correlation with being conscious of our stress levels. Yes, trying to lower our stress levels, making sure we're getting the sleep we need, all important. But what else can we do to affect this interaction of cortisol and progesterone, right? And I was blown away when I spoke to my friend who's a midwife, delivered over thousands of babies. She's been a midwife for 30 years. She's incredible. And I learned something really interesting about grapefruit essential oil. So doTERRA's grapefruit has the ability to basically impede that interaction. So it has the ability to stop the drain of progesterone, turning it into cortisol. So each morning I take a veggie cap and I fill it with grapefruit oil and I take that. And that actually helps my body stop the drain of progesterone. So I'm supplementing myself with progesterone and I'm stopping that pathway so that my body isn't just sucking the progesterone away to make cortisol. So yes, I'm managing my stress. I'm definitely looking at different ways to lower my stress as I navigate the second pregnancy. But knowing that I have these two things in my corner to help with my progesterone levels is absolutely so powerful. So after I share the third thing I changed, I'm going to share with you my I Miscarried Now What ebook that has a lot of these tips in it and a lot of the things that I've worked through as I went from pregnant, miscarrying, trying to conceive after miscarriage, and pregnant again, and just some of that journey. So stay tuned. I'm gonna share that with you in a second. So the third thing I learned is the importance of folate. And I actually take doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is my prenatal and covers everything really that I need. It's so amazing. I add some other different supplements in there, but one of them is a methylated folate. So I learned the difference between folate and folic acid. And this was really cool because I didn't know the difference between the two of them. Folate is actually a natural B9, and then folic acid is an oxidized synthetic compound found in dietary supplements. Whoa, okay. I'm not here for synthetics. That doesn't sound great. We can actually take too much folic acid. We can't really take too much folate. So I take this methylated folate because it's easy for my body to absorb and it gives my body the nutrients that it needs. So let's talk about some other natural ways you can get folate. I'm going to read to you a list of some of the foods that you can eat to have a good folate, to increase your folate level. Romaine lettuce, spinach, asparagus, turnip greens, mustard greens, parsley, collard greens, broccoli, cauliflower, beets, and lentils. Also, beef and chicken liver are great for folate. So all of these are great ways to improve our folate. And what I learned that I didn't understand, I had understood folate helped with neural tube defects like spina bifida and things like that. But I didn't understand that folate played such an important role in the basically sticking of the baby and the embryo to the uterine wall. So progesterone and folate are so important in that process of the embryo adhering to the uterine wall and you maintaining that pregnancy. So I was blown away when I learned this, and I incorporated this really great supplement to help my body have the tools that it needed to support this early stage of pregnancy. I hope that in watching this video, you have some ahas and some really great questions to either reach out to me and ask, to reach out to your naturopath, reach out to your MD, just start to dive in and have conversations about, because that's where we begin to learn, when we start to dive deeper and have those conversations. I also want to tell you a story of a friend of mine who had multiple miscarriages. I'm talking like half a dozen. This sweet thing went through so many early stage miscarriages where she just couldn't get past 5 weeks. She'd get a positive pregnancy test and then that was it. And it was heartbreaking to her. She was about to give up. And as I did my research and as I learned more and I shared with her what I was discovering about progesterone and stress hormones, she incorporated, at the guidance of a naturopath and her OB, the progesterone supplement and grapefruit essential oil. And I'm happy to tell you now, she is 10 weeks pregnant and doing amazing. So these tips don't just work for me. These are simple things that we can look at as women to support us in our pregnancies and to support our babies and having a healthy and full-term pregnancy. I'd love for you to comment below and let me know what you found most helpful and what was the biggest aha in watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video, I really truly hope that you stick around, because I know you're going to love other content of mine, like healing from a miscarriage or even trying to conceive after a miscarriage. As promised, your free download is in the comments below. You can even find the link to my exclusive online community. So I hope you check both of those out. And do me a favor, give this video a like, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you're notified each time I drop a new video.